The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and you're listening to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM, and you're here with me today, Faiza.
And me, Amina.
And it's only us in the studio today. It was kind of like empty, but it's actually not.
We fill this studio up with our energy.
Yes, we do. So before we get started, what's our show about?
Okay, so I don't have that thing in front of me, but
our platform.
Our show is a platform for young girls and young Muslim girls to voice their opinions and views on various topics such as religion, culture, social media, politics, etc. And all our opinions and views are our own, and we accept any other opposing or similar views
and opinions.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So I think we've got it sorted there. Yeah. That's what our show is about. We discuss a variety of topics. We're here to kind of empower women and the youth, mainly girls, because we're called Sisters Speak,
and give them a voice through our own.
So I think we missed last week's show, but the week before that, I think we were discussing social media, mental health, especially in terms of celebrity influencers. And this week we will be discussing being the best version of yourself. So we're going to be talking in the spiritual aspect, in the mental / emotional aspect, and also the physical aspect, because there's a lot of different kind of parts in being the best version of yourself. But before we get into that, we do a little segment on our show at the beginning called Thought for the Week, and this can just be something that we've learned, maybe a rant, maybe something that it has inspired us and we want to inspire someone else on Inspire FM. But if anyone else wants to participate in this little bit, then please do. What can they do?
You can text or WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. You can call the studio on 01582 481822. And we also are on Facebook Live, so you can comment down below on the live stream.
Yes, you can. So let us know your thoughts, views and opinions on anything that we discussed today. So what is your thought for the week, Amina?
My thought of the week is, I'd say about social media. I think, we always talk about social media, and something I've been thinking about is that you can, I don't know why, but for some reason we find it so difficult to just unfollow things or block certain thing, like just anything that bothers us. I don't know why we don't just unfollow it. Do you get why? Do you get what I'm coming at? Yeah, I think it's just and it's normal to not like certain, like say there's an influencer that everyone follows and it just seems like you have to follow them just because it's the norm, I guess.
Yeah, like a trend.
It sounds so weird to say out loud, because why should that be a problem? But I feel like it's even something I experienced. And once I was like, I don't even care. Unfollow.
I don't care.
Like what? I think it was really therapeutic. I went through my following list and I literally just unfollowed everything. And then I just like had a fresh start. And now my feed looks so different, and it's so
refreshing.
Yeah, and it's more like inspiring now and less of, oh my god, I need to have that, or I want to do that, or it doesn't have to be negative. Like now I have things that I want to do that are more encouraging.
Oh right, okay.
If that makes sense. So it could be anything really, anything that you're interested in. Like now I'm following healthy eating pages.
Okay, let's see how long this lasts, guys.
Yeah, but it's still I feel like we're on our phones all day, and the fact that I'm looking at it all day makes me, it's kind of like a mental thing. I feel
like it can become toxic, right?
That's actually what I want to eat now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm not hungry for, I don't know, a fat burger. Well, I am, but I mean, I don't want to have like brand new clothes all the time. I'm more thinking about some nice, healthy food.
Even though she's thinking about burger. Okay, interesting. So you basically kind of just blocked out the like negative.
Yeah, stuff that
Anything
won't help.
negative.
It doesn't even have to be negative. It's just stuff that's not helpful to me.
Or is it stuff that can be like kind of...
Yeah, like I may have unfollowed things that are perfectly fine to follow, but for me, I just feel like it's not productive. Like it's not making me productive. We don't realize that social media is so powerful. The fact that we look at it all day. I mean, everyone has social media in some form or another. Like you either have Instagram or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And let's be real, we are always looking at our phones, and it's kind of brainwashing you. So at least brainwash yourself with good things. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Brainwash yourself.
I mean, that statement is actually really interesting choice of words. Brainwash yourselves with good things.
Yeah, because we're not going to delete our social media.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we do, then we do for like a week, and then we're back on it again.
Yeah, I feel like with social media, it's so like you literally obsess over it.
And if you don't have it, it's like you're not part of society. Like when I'm off,
you feel disconnected, right?
My friends are like, "Where the hell are you? Why I'm sending you memes and you're not receiving them?"
No, but like you feel disconnected because then what else are you going to do on your phone? Well,
which is a bit sad.
It depends.
But that's like a whole other thing. But if I want to have it, I want to at least make it a good thing.
Yeah, and you want it to be kind of like a healthy experience rather than
exactly
like it just being there kind of.
Yeah, it's literally in my hands. I have control over what I'm putting into my brain, so I'll try and make it good.
So you're just making it healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think my thought for the week is do I have one?
Do you have any thoughts?
Currently, I'm just tired.
Do you think?
I think I don't know.
So you are full-time working and you have uni on the weekends.
Like my brain's
you're really
basically
tired.
exploding.
Yeah.
I think maybe time management. I didn't realize how important it is. Like, okay, fair enough. Yes, it's important, but like you don't actually understand the importance until you have like a gazillion things to do.
That's true.
And then you need to kind of just fit everything in.
Like even your leisure, you have to
you have to make time for yourself. You have to make time for yourself on top of everything else. You have to make time to get that little bit of sleep in, or you have to make time to remember to eat.
Yeah, it's literally
it's
like
crazy.
that.
But time management, the importance of that, I don't really realize until you're
there's
juggling
so much on your plate.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe listen to myself first, and then if anyone wants to take this piece of advice, just manage your time well, but make sure you include time for yourself as well, especially to kind of get some downtime. Because sometimes like you get caught up in everything so easily, and it's so quick to kind of chase everything that's going on in this world and kind of forget that, remember, like this is temporary. You could your life could you could pass away. So just
need to put some work into that as well.
So deen over dunya, stop chasing this dunya. Yeah, get that balance. Time management as well. Like, are you making time for your prayers? Even visiting the sick, maybe even going to the graveyard. So yeah, interesting. Time management. Anyways, moving on from that. So that's our little segment done. Before we get into our main topic of being the best version of yourself, we have our hot topics now. So our hot topics is
so recently there is a very well-known clothing brand in the UK. We all know, I think we're all very familiar with it. It's very affordable, and they've I don't know exactly when, a few days ago probably, they launched a modest fashion line, which I thought was really cool, because I think in past shows, probably a year or two ago, I don't even remember when it was, but we did talk about another clothing brand that did try to do the same thing, but I felt they did a really lousy job of trying to do modest fashion, because our issue with it was that they the clothes that they launched just looked so different from all their other clothing, and it was basically looking just like Shalwar Kameez. Like all their stuff was their version of South Asian clothing, which I thought was really weird, because they called it a modest fashion line aimed at Muslim women, and not all Muslim women are from a South Asian background. So that was really frustrating.
Right.
And yeah, so when I saw this, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing, because what we wanted was just the clothes that they sell usually, but just suitable for us. So no slits, no sheer sleeves or sheer whatever is on there, no random cutouts on the back.
Like the slits in random places really gets me.
Yeah, like you go and pick up a dress, oh my God, this is amazing, and then there's a giant slit. Or you pick it up and it's perfect long sleeves, and turn it around, there's a massive hole. There's no back.
Massive hole in the back.
Not even a hole, it's just no
you know
back.
What gets me sometimes is like when you pick up such a nice shirt or something, and there's like holes and like the shoulder bits, like the shoulder patches are like gone.
And then especially when it's summer, you don't want to have to wear long sleeves underneath, because
like layering, and like
it's
you
too
don't want
hot.
to layer in summer.
Exactly. But
the slits in skirts really get me though.
Yeah, but I actually went to the store the other day because I was in the area. But I saw some of this stuff, and I just thought it was really cool to be included. Like I've always felt that I've had to really dig in while I'm shopping and try to find stuff and piece things together that will be modest, but now it's just there, and what I thought was cool, maybe in other stores that are bigger they might have like a big sign saying our modest line, because it's new, they want to promote it, but it was just in with the normal clothes, and I recognized it because I saw it being promoted on social media by like different influencers. I just thought it was cool because we are their consumers, and we fit in with everyone else that shops at their store.
So you thought it was a good thing that it wasn't like kind of clearly identified, this is your
exactly, because with the brand I mentioned before about mimicking Shalwar Kameez, that was like so separate and so obvious that it was different, and it just felt weird because I'm still part of this society, and I still dress in a similar fashion to your other customers, but you're telling me that I need to buy this, which is I just thought it was weird.
That's actually a positive though, that it's kind of like it's just in with all the rest of the clothes.
Hey, you're just like us, and this is for you. Like I looked at the stuff and I thought it was really cool, and I also wanted to mention that we've done shows on hijab before, and how everyone has like their different style, and even a different stage in dressing modestly, because obviously there is a particular way for Muslim women to dress, but we're all trying to get there. And I thought
we're kind of all in our own struggle.
Yeah, we're all getting there somehow. And I thought the line was cool because I think it catered to everyone. Like it had some really nice long dresses. It had these skirt co-ords, and I tried some on, and they weren't like super tight or anything. And they were pretty long, like for the average height in the UK. I mean, it was,
I'm wearing one right now.
For me, like I'm 5'7", and it was fine on me. Usually I try things on and it's too short. So
I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah.
One of the pieces.
Wow, we've got our very own model here. How do you feel?
You can't see everyone though, because like I'm sitting down.
But yeah, they also sell hijabs. They actually they've been selling scarves for years, and I know me and a lot of people just wear them as a hijab, but they've been they sell like their scarves, and then on the hanger thing it actually shows like a little picture of a woman in hijab. So I thought it was really cool that they're just selling that for us, and they're really good. Like they're a good size, and you can wrap them different ways. I just think it's really nice, and it's so affordable, and it's like a brand that we can all go to, it's accessible for anyone from any background.
That's
I think
pretty
is
good.
it's like a massive. I feel like it's such a big thing for us.
Yeah, because I feel like when some fashion brands try to like reach the like modest fashion like aspect, and it's like, okay, that is nowhere near what anyone would wear.
They've been trying to do it for quite a few years, and
or it's overpriced. Like you can't win with modest fashion.
Yeah,
I feel like there are certain brands that kind of they make it look so good, and then when it comes to reality and when you actually go to the store or you look online and you see different pieces, and it's like, oh, okay, that's not how I anticipated it would be.
Yeah, like it's annoying that you have to pay that much for something that just...
Do you think it's hard to find modest fashion? Like modest clothes?
Not anymore. I feel like you can, if you look for it, then it's not that difficult. Like if you put different things together, then you can make it happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I particularly never found it that difficult because I guess I knew what to look for, but now I think it's nice that they've just made it for us. Like before, I guess you'd have to get a top and then, oh, I need to have a cardigan with this because there's like no sleeves or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never found it that difficult, to be honest.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like it varies.
I think in the summer I did find it really difficult.
Yeah.
Because if you say, for example, I'm looking for a dress, like the perfect summer dress for me will have long sleeves and is like long, no slits,
and the back is there.
Yeah, and the back is there. No mysterious holes and slits. Because then I can feel just as cool as everyone else on a hot summer's day. But I think in the past that has been really difficult because I could find a nice dress, but then I'd have to wear like tights and a long sleeve top, and then I'm sweating. But now there's like another online brand that's probably a little less affordable than the one I mentioned, but it's still very much affordable for a lot of people and very accessible. They launched a few modest pieces too, and I thought that was
okay.
They had quite a few really nice dresses on there that were opaque, long sleeved, everything I just mentioned.
They fit all your requirements.
Yeah, and the model's in a hijab to show you what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I think this website is cool because I like to see how it looks for real. Like they have a video of the model walking.
Yeah.
I love watching that.
Yeah,
so I actually know the reality.
Then you can actually see as
like
well,
how
like,
it moves.
is it see-through, like what, like you kind of get a grasp of the material and everything.
Yeah, so I think now it's becoming easier, but yeah, now that I think about it has been difficult because in the summer I'm all like searching long sleeve dress on every website you can think of, and then at the end of it I find about two and maybe one of them is a good one.
Fair enough. Okay.
But now that they've launched a line in the winter, I'm hoping they'll keep adding to it for every season. So
but
I'm excited
winter's
for that.
actually pretty like I prefer the winter because it's like literally it's so easy to layer on.
Everyone needs to wear long sleeves in the winter.
Yeah, because you don't see anyone. Well, exceptions to a few people, but
yeah, some weirdos in shorts and flip flops. Literally.
But that's what it is. But like most of the time in the UK, it's pretty much cold. Like I'd say like what 2 months you get like really, really hot, and then most of the time you're basically freezing because it's raining or something.
Exactly.
So layering is like kind of the best thing.
It's the culture here.
And you can find so many things as well, like the big scarves.
Oh my god, yeah,
like they're literally lifesavers. So I don't know, I guess it depends. I think it was pretty hard to find modest clothing, but now I don't know. I feel like if you look in the right places you'll find certain things that you can kind of piece together, but then it depends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that will kind of close our discussion there on the modest fashion.
Yeah.
So now moving on to our main topic today is being the best version of yourself. So we're going to be talking about this in the physical aspect, the spiritual aspect, and the emotional / mental aspect. So if anyone does want to join in our discussion, please do call us or text us or WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. So you can text or WhatsApp on 07779 481822, or you can comment on our Facebook live stream. Let us know if you have any thoughts, advice that you want to share, maybe that will benefit us as well as any other listeners, on being the best version of yourself. How can you do that physically? How can you do that emotionally? How can you do that spiritually? So first of all, what is, being the best version of yourself? Here I go again.
Well, I would say it's finding something that makes you feel the happiest. I feel like when I've been the best version of myself is when I'm happy. Not necessarily, like, you can't be happy all the time. I feel like an emotion is not having an emotion as a goal is not a realistic goal, because just like you can't be angry forever, you can't be happy forever. But what I mean is just happy in my state of mind. I think that's when I'm my best self, and happy with what I'm where I'm heading mentally, I guess. I think that's when I'm the best, when I feel healthy in all aspects, with say my relationship with my family, or spiritually, if I'm really working hard on trying to strengthen my iman. I think that's when I'm my best self.
So spiritually, and emotionally, I guess, and physically.
I feel like it all interlinks.
Yeah, they are. But I feel like sometimes it can be a struggle to try and reach that best version of yourself, because
it doesn't just come like that. It takes hard work.
It comes in kind of stages, because sometimes you might feel like you're literally you're at a good high, you feel just so good about everything, and then there's just one thing that will just bring it down, and that could be, I don't know, physically, it could be emotionally, mentally, or it could be spiritually. You could be struggling in certain things, and it could bring you down again. But I think that's just a part of being the best version of yourself. When you're at such a low stage, it's bringing yourself back up again.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn from that, and then you move up, and then you learn from that, and then you move up. There will always be kind of a test or an obstacle in your way, and it's just you kind of working your way around that to become the best version of yourself. Yeah,
I feel like that's what life is. It's not how you can stay I don't think it's possible to stay
in one
state.
Yeah,
because we're constantly changing, and I think, like you said, you're the best version of yourself when you're able to pull yourself out of something. I think you really show yourself who you are when you're tested with anything, really, with something hard, and that's when you know what you're capable of.
What about, does it go kind of hand in hand with perfection though, or is being the best version of yourself kind of is it reaching perfection?
I wouldn't say that. I guess it could be someone might interpret that as trying to be perfect, but I think that's not. If you're trying to reach perfection, then you're never gonna get there.
And being the best version of yourself, it's not gonna be perfect as well.
Yeah, and I think that comes with it, is keeping in mind that you can always do better. That's not necessarily putting yourself down and telling yourself that I'm never gonna be as good as I want to be, but always leaving room for improvement is a good thing, because if we're here for a reason, what's the point if we're here to just be perfect? It's weird to think that we won't ever have to work towards something. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, but we're always working towards something.
True. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like there's not that you can't actually reach perfection.
Yeah. Because there's always,
yeah.
like, once you've reached a goal, there's going to be another goal.
And you just keep on moving forward.
Yeah. So if, say, for example, university, you get your degree, and then it's not like that's
the end.
I finally I graduated, but that's
it's like next
you get a job, and then you want to get promoted, and you want to. And
it's
then
just like
maybe
consistent.
it's something like family and getting a house, things like that. Not necessarily that typical line of success, but it could be anything, you know, like trying to.
Like one thing, it just doesn't end there. It's like there's always something else. There's always something more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's always going to be dips. I don't.
Yeah.
Like when we feel upset, I think what makes it worse is saying like, oh my God, I was doing so well. Why is this happening? I think we have to embrace that and think, you know, this is just another test for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get up again.
I think you wrapped that quite well. Join us in the second half, inshallah. We'll be discussing being the best version of yourself in more detail. So we'll see you after a couple of minutes. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to an Inspire FM podcast, making available our popular programs from our daily broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and you're listening to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM with me, Faiza, and Amina. Just before the break, we were discussing, I guess, the introduction of our main topic today, which is how to be the best version of yourself in the spiritual aspect, the physical aspect, and emotional/mental aspect. So I think we were just kind of getting our heads around what it is to be the best version of yourself. What it is to be the best version of yourself. And I don't think personally it's, you know, being perfect. It's kind of, you know, growing, learning from experiences, moving onwards and upwards, I guess. Because where else are you going to go? Yeah.
Like you can't go back. You have to keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward up those little stairs. Get the point. So how can we, when we're talking about being the best version of ourselves physically, what do we generally mean by that?
Well, I automatically think of fitness, which I'm not not quite there yet.
Well, I mean, you're following healthy eating, people, so
well, I guess I'm trying to eat quite well. So, well, not exactly like, I think it's just taking care of your body. And I think we did mention this as a hot topic on our last live show. I don't really remember what it was. But I think for me, taking care of myself physically, I don't like to be so strict because I'm just not someone who will follow through with like
diets,
a strict
plans.
Even a diet or a workout plan. I know I'm not going to be consistent with something so hardcore. So I try to do what I can when I can, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know, like I try not to have fizzy drinks. Like I'm not that fond of them anyway. But like I think at this point in my life, I know what my body responds well to in terms of food, and that doesn't mean I eat really well, but it's just like I try to stay away from, you know, too much like nasty stuff. Like I actually am, and it's not saying it out loud is weird because it sounds like I'm so conscious of it, but I just feel like it's just like how I'm handling my food nowadays.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Does it make you feel better?
Yeah, like having control over something. And I think taking care of your body is really important because you're not going to be this healthy forever. Yeah. And, you know, if we do reach old age one day, inshallah, you want to be able to do as much as you can now. Obviously, we're not going to be this fit and healthy, but what we put in our bodies now is going to affect how we'll be able. Yeah, exactly. So, and just enforcing tiny habits like that, I think will make it easier when we're older to actually eat well.
I think so. We've got a text in. So this is in relation to the physical aspect. So you were talking about food and eating. So of course that plays a huge impact in how we physically can be the best version of ourselves. So we've got great topic. I would like to make a comment on the physical part of being your best self out of the mental and spiritual. I believe the environment you're in is a very important factor. For example, the temperature. If it's too hot, you'll become agitated and uncomfortable. Similarly, if it's too cold, it's important to be mentally prepared. The body is something we have to respect more than just going to the gym and how we treat its appearance. For example, no tattoos contributes to the whole spiritual and mental of being your best self.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I never considered temperature part of taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but it's true though. Like if
yeah.
you're cold, you feel restless. And like when you're hot, you do feel agitated, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Thank you for
that's
that.
a really interesting.
You didn't leave
part
your
of it.
name, but thank
Yeah,
you.
because I thought they were going to talk about fitness, and I was like, okay, fine, but go off.
No, but it's something that you don't normally consider, because when you're normally discussing being the best version of yourself, or how to become better physically, you just normally think the gym or food. You don't actually consider
Even
the environment.
appearance. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah,
Like,
appearance as well.
That doesn't. I think
When you look good, you feel good.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you have to look a certain way all the time, but looking
that's good to yourself. What
looking
you
good
think
to
looking
yourself.
good is.
And I think that's really important, because when I I'm too relaxed and I'm comfortable, but I know I look bad, and I do that consistently, then I feel bad. Does that make sense? Like, say if you're, I don't know, like if I go to the library a lot and I'm like, I can't be bothered, let me just throw some random outfit on. Like, that's in that moment it's comfortable and I'm fine. But if you do that consistently, then you don't feel so great. And I feel like, say if you're going to work or uni or whatever, like dressing well, like to your own standards, really helps prepare you for the day. And I think it's such a mental thing. Even like if it's makeup or doing, like putting your outfit together, like putting a bit more effort in.
That's me.
I think it's just putting in effort in some form or another.
To kind of just make you
makes you feel good. Like if it's not with your appearance, and if that's not something that bothers you, then it might be, preparing like a nice meal for yourself at the end of the day, or putting in like one workout a day or something, something that just makes you feel good. I think that's what I was trying to get at when I was talking about my food habits.
Eating.
Like, it just makes me feel good. Like it may not even be healthy, but just saying, oh, I won't have that chocolate today.
Or like having like a shower first thing, or getting that little like gym workout in the morning. Like, it just starts your day, like, and you feel good. Like, I totally agree, especially in terms of like physically, like looking good in the way that you think is looking good, not how to anyone else thinks, like, this usual standards of this is what looking good is. Do you know what I mean? So this is you yourself, like your own perception of what you think looks good, whether it's pairing an outfit together, whether it's going to the gym or whatever. Like, it actually makes such a huge difference, and it does make you be the best version of yourself, because then, I don't know, I feel like it kind of motivates you and inspires you.
I think it also makes you feel like you have some kind of control of what's going on, because a lot of things we may not have control over, and some things like we're just obliged to do, and we have to do it whether we like it or not. So having that control, I think, makes us feel a little bit better.
Definitely.
Like when I do turn down, like, oh, do you want a hot chocolate or something? I'm like, no, I'm
just gonna go home and have a burger. Watch.
I'll have a herbal tea. Like, that makes you feel better.
So go home and have a burger.
Me personally.
Oh no, but it's true though. I think making, especially physically, like, it can be so sometimes it can be difficult because sometimes like not everyone's a gym person, not everyone's a healthy eating person. I'm definitely not a healthy eating person.
Yeah, I think when you're forced to do something, that's when you're put off. That's why I don't like the idea of diets, because
you're so restricted.
And it makes you feel worse. And then I think the idea of a cheat day is quite sad. It's because nothing is consistent. Like you have to keep up this strict diet, and then there's one day where you can eat whatever you want. But I think it's a lot better when you have control over something and eat well, but not like so strict.
Yeah.
I keep going down the food route, but that's the only example I can think of.
Because I think that's the one that relates to you most. For me personally, I think it would just be the dressing. Like I don't know why, I just like it.
I'd say that too.
It's fun pairing outfits together, dressing up. Okay, with like, such girls, but like I'm sure you understand what I mean. It's fun.
It is. Or if I've worn the same outfit too many times that I really love, I probably, to make myself feel better, I'd try to find a completely new outfit out of things that I've worn 100 times. I think that's really fun. Like just anything that's stimulating that's like fun but makes you think. Fashion, guys. In my bedroom.
No, but it's true though. It does make you feel good about yourself. It makes you want to, I don't know, it motivates you. It will kind of, sometimes it's just something good that starts your day off, and then you kind of just move onwards and upwards, I guess.
Yeah.
What about when we're talking spiritually, being the best version of yourself? And by the way, anyone who is listening or is on our Facebook live stream, remember you can get involved in our topic today as well. You can text us in or WhatsApp us on 07779 481822, or you can comment on our Facebook live stream, because you know, I think this is such a good topic, and you don't know who you could impact with your advice as well as ours.
Yeah, it'd be nice to learn from each other.
Yeah, I think we have one comment on there. Sahel, he says, find people who are physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually better than you and hang out with them.
I think that's an interesting way to look at it as well, because I think that actually works. And sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish, not in a bad sense, but in the sense that you have to take care of yourself. Like say you have someone who is just too draining, like maybe take a
mentally draining sometimes.
Yeah, just mentally draining. Yeah. And like maybe take a break
just
from
talks
them.
About themselves.
Yeah.
And doesn't even consider your feelings.
Yeah, like I think it's really good to hang out with those kind of people. And if you don't have that, then just being around someone who's like-minded and someone who wants to keep growing, I think that's really important.
And having people around you who are like, the conversations are not just about silly things, but they're like intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like bouncing off each other in terms of like ideas and things like that. And even like someone, for example, you might not be that knowledgeable in certain things, but someone else might be, and you know, you just start
and maybe
talking,
you'll both have something that the other person doesn't. Like they might be helping you in one aspect and you'll be helping them in another. And I think that's that's the great thing about like having friends and having these kind of conversations, is because they can really help you in whatever you're trying to achieve.
And it kind of opens your mind up as well. Like, for example, like you can clearly identify like the toxicness, who brings that kind of toxic energy. And it's true regardless of like, you know, whether or not you think you might have that, but you know, it's true, there will be times where you have toxic people in your life, and sometimes, you know, talking to other people who are not, for example, normally a part of your circle, or if they are physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually better than you, it can be more stimulating for you. You will be able to clearly see that, oh, maybe I should kind of not hang around with so and so because it's draining mentally.
Well, they could be holding you back from something.
Yeah.
And
you might not even reach your true potential. I guess it varies person to person. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. If you are able to identify that, if you do want to connect with people who are physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually better than you, it's all down to you, I guess, to kind of make that move. What else, like spiritually?
Well, I'd say for me is just always like having a goal, because obviously we can always do better than where we're at now. And for example, it would like being consistent in, you know, maybe like reading Quran or learning something new that I don't know. I think there's like quite a few apps that are really helpful for that keep you kind of connected to your deen and having more knowledge. Like I had this hadith app, and it just gave you like a random hadith every day, and I thought it was nice to have that just on my phone, because you could be doing something and then it pops up and you read it and then you think a bit more. And I found it really helpful because it helped me like apply it to my life.
Yeah, of course.
And I think staying connected to, for me personally, staying like connected to the Quran is so important, because I feel like not just reading the Arabic, of course there's so many blessings that come out of that, but like reading the translation, I feel helped me connect to Islam a lot more, because
you understood it, right?
understand it, and I can apply it to my life. And not just that, just thinking about it. And I think it makes, like, as a Muslim, that's just part of who I am, and it's not separate to who I am. It's just intertwined in everything that I do. So trying to do that as consistently as I can, I feel is important in being spiritually the best I can be, because then I can, you know, apply that throughout my life.
I also think it's having that connection with God as well. Especially, you know, when you're praying.
Yeah.
Like, praying is the bare minimum of our religion. And I just find it so kind of like, especially when you're on the prayer mat and, you know, you just contemplate. And you contemplate and you contemplate, and then, I don't know, for me personally, you kind of come to the realization of why prayer is so important. Because it can be so, like, the hard, honest truth of what I think is that it's very easily put off. People find excuses, you know, it's just literally, it makes around an hour. And the prayers are so, like, especially nowadays, it's very easy to kind of do all the prayers.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that difficult. There aren't huge, long gaps as well. But praying and, you know, just spiritually connecting with God and coming together, like, one, realizing, I don't know, like, coming to the realization of the truth of why we are here, what our purpose is, how we get so caught up in this world, and then how it can be so easily taken away from us. Like, especially when, for example, when someone passes away, that's like a snap back into reality. Everything can be so easily snatched and taken away from you. And when you pray for that person who's passed away as well, like, it's another reminder. And also, like you said, how you had apps that helped you spiritually as well. One app, like the Muslim Pro one, literally it gives you like notifications, and it's like, did you say Alhamdulillah today? You know, have you read this surah, this surah, this surah? Like, it's just those like constant reminders that, you know, you do this, do that kind of, and it kind of brings you back down, and it kind of allows you to maintain a balance of deen and dunya, not just consistent, you know, you wake up, you go to work, come home, eat, sleep, repeat kind of thing. Like, there is more to life than just this dunya.
Yeah, and I think one like really important thing about salah, like, it's obviously it's fard on us, but something that maybe if you are struggling with it, then try to think of it in a different way. Maybe you're not thinking about salah in the way that you should, instead of it being an obligation. Like I read somewhere, someone was saying that it's like a gift to us. It's a time, like Allah is calling us to Him to let our hearts out to Him 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of, like, if you read a lot of self-care like posts or articles or whatever it is, a lot of them just tell you to meditate or to think about, like, to have a moment to yourself and think, which is really helpful. And I feel like that's exactly what salah is. It's having those moments between you and your Lord. It's having, and it's so healing when you actually really concentrate on it, and you don't
the concentration thing.
That's definitely. Not to say that you have to be purposefully very slow, but just knowing what you're saying, and exactly, just, and like maybe taking your time in sujood, or just understanding this little things that we recite during prayer. I think that if you're struggling spiritually, I think the first thing for me personally was to actually understand, have a connection when I'm praying, and having that and trying to enjoy it. I think it's just flipping the switch. It's thinking of it in a different way, because the reason why we find it so difficult is because we see it as a chore, and it's really not. True. Like, obviously that sometimes we do think of it like that, but it's not a chore. It's like, it's
something that's benefiting you at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's why it's fard. That's why a lot of things that we do as Muslims, that it's for our own benefit. And I think it's all in your mindset, really. We can think of a lot of things as, you know, really difficult and stuff, but it's just, think of it in a different way. Just draw a blank page, and then
actually, like, contemplate and understand every single aspect of prayer.
I think learning to love it and learning about it in your own way is really important. I mean, as a Muslim, especially if you even we have an advantage of being born Muslim, but even then we still have to learn for ourselves about what we're doing, and I think that's important.
Why we're Muslim, like the basics, even if you have to go down to even the basics.
You learn that as a child, I think it's still important to revisit that as an adult, because you think of it differently as a child than you do as an adult.
And like your Quran classes that you went to as a child, how many of you can so fluently recite it now? And in the exact way with the correct tajweed as well. And I think sometimes, you know, your knowledge gets lost along the way, and revisiting that can help you spiritually. And, you know, as Muslims, being the best version of ourselves is, you know, being a good Muslim, fulfilling those obligations that have been, you know, brought upon us.
And I also think one really important thing is to never be too hard on yourself, because I think that's why people get put off or find that it's too difficult, is because they're so hard on themselves. But we all go through dips in our iman, and we can always get back up again. I mean, we're still alive, and there's any small thing that you do is so rewarding. So just like taking that small step will help you get to wherever you want to be, and having, like, just try to reach one small goal, and then you'll be able to reach the next one. It's not a race. It's not a race, and it's not impossible.
True. We have another comment, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, so I apologize. The name is Haja Budriga, so I apologize if I said that wrong. And they said, by trying to setting yourself to be more like a role model or a good example in a genuine way for people around you, that way you will always try to better yourself. So I think he's trying to say, you know, setting yourself to be more like a role model for people around you, and then you'll always try to be better yourself. Renewing the niyyah, intention, is also important. That's true, renewing your intentions.
I think that's what I was trying to get at in terms of changing your mindset. Like, remind yourself of why you're doing something, and really think about what's going through your head when you want to do it. Because
sometimes you might put yourself in a position where you might think this is what's best for you, but is it really? For example, this job, this uni, this work, this opportunity, or anything that's just come up, is it really worth it? What are you sacrificing? Maybe renewing those intentions as well. And also, when it comes to prayer, I think spiritually it's important, renew that. Why are you actually praying? Are you praying, oh, it's because it's an obligation, I have to? Truly be honest with yourself. You're a Muslim, have faith in that you're a Muslim, be proud to be Muslim. Sahel says, is not it better if you go hard on yourself and easier on others? You did say go hard. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, I feel like you can. That's not to say that you should go hard on other people either. I think what I meant was, if you're hard on yourself, then you're never gonna get where you want to be.
Cut yourself some slack, I think.
I guess that's not to say that you should be so relaxed. You should always have a goal. Limit. But I'd say for me, I just have to, if I'm slacking, then I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you didn't do that today, so you should never do it again. I feel like that's what I meant by being hard on myself. But you need to always be able to pick yourself up again. It doesn't matter if you didn't reach your goal today, maybe you'll reach it again tomorrow. And that's with anything really, in terms of your spirituality, with your physical well-being, your mental well-being. If you're not doing well one day mentally, even though you were the day before, that's not to say you can't do it again. You can just maybe give yourself a break and then you can try again tomorrow. I mean, we always have dips and we always get back up.
And you can always pick yourself back up. And unfortunately, we are reaching the end of our show now. We have 30 seconds left. It went so quickly. But to wrap it up, I think although we haven't discussed everything, I think we should come back to this topic again. But being the best version of yourself, at the end of the day, it does come down to you, whether it be physically, emotionally, and mentally. And it's always good, pick yourself back up, learn from your experiences and move forward. Look back, yes, but don't constantly live in the past. But thank you for everyone who joined in our discussion today. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Join us next week from 6 to 7 as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We stream our daily broadcast on inspirefm.org. You'll find all our daily updates on our social media at Inspire FM Luton.